of this Friday show here. Judd's keys to a Vikings victory on the road against the Carolina Panthers and that vaunted defense. How's Judd's keys doing here today?
Out late last night.
Oh, God.
Got home, a little tipsy. Worked on this. I didn't really. I'm not a fan of how Keys is electing to lead Keys' life right now, but that's between us. But I do have the keys. This week, there are fourth quarter, 4 keys to the game. Not 5, because we did 5 for Cleveland, and that was an absolute debacle. So we're back to 4.
And I just want to say, this might sound just a little bit off in terms of the placement for this, but Judd's Keys is a hockey fan. I don't know if people knew that. And Judd's Keys would be happy to know that we are giving away tickets to Wild Predators on October 24th. All you have to do, if you want to win free tickets to a Minnesota Wild game against the Predators on October 24th, open the SKOR North app, register, and enter. Just click on the listener rewards link, and we'll pick a winner on October 21st. And if you're a college student, college night discounts are back this season at the X, and Wild tickets start at just $39. There's a few games to choose from each month, so find out more at wild.com/theme packs. I don't know. I think Keys is a little older than college age, but
he's still in
he
school.
He hangs out with those college kids, though. I've seen Keys at the bars.
Definitely.
I've seen Keys out before.
Signs up for classes occasionally as well.
Yeah,
that's just kind of weird.
He doesn't really
just drops him as a W, so his GPA is fine.
Exactly right. No, that's a good game. Granlund over to Cunnin, back to Granlund, back to
Keys.
Over to Keys.
All right, are we ready?
All right, let's do it.
Are we ready? The music's going. Key number 4. Don't be roadkill. Key number 4 is, and Phil brought this up briefly, you are 0-2 on the road. You played a terrible first half in week 1 against the Bengals. Came back after that and played okay, but you still, unfortunately for you, lost the game. Actually played a pretty good game against the Cardinals. Could have won late, didn't. That put you in an 0-2 hole. But this is actually going into the bye. This might be sort of a get-well game on the road, and here's why. Carolina, which I don't love, the defense is good. I am not sold, and I'll get to this on Darnold at quarterback. The defense is good, but Carolina starts perfect. 3-0, and people are like, oh my God, the Carolina Panthers, here they come. Be careful, Tampa Bay, watch out. New Orleans, watch out. They've dropped 2 consecutive games, including a game last week to Philadelphia. And you now have an opportunity to extend their losing streak to 3. Don't be roadkill. This is the type of game that you can go on the road, make a statement and win, and get back to 500 going into your bye week.
I am having a hard time figuring out how good are the Panthers. I mean, their offenses, they shouldn't be scoring 30, 40 points on you. But it's like they played some weak teams off the top, and their defense has built up some stats against weak quarterbacks and weak teams. And the Vikings should present some more weapons and challenges, but I don't know. It's road. There's a lot of weird signs here. Like the Vikings are up to 2.5-point favorites in a lot of sports books on the road. It's like, I don't really?
Like yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, we'll see. All right.
Anyway,
next key.
Don't be roadkill is key 4. Key 3, Sack and Sam. That's right, Sack and Sam. Darnold has been sacked the 4th most of any quarterback in the National Football League. He's been sacked 8 times and hit 19 times in the past 2 games, the 2 defeats, and he has thrown in that time 5 picks. The Vikings, who were historically bad for their franchise in sacks last year, with their core group back now, they are at 17 sacks, which is second most in the National Football League. Yeah. Sack and Sam, pressure on Darnold, and I guarantee you this, if you continue this type of pressure, he'll start to fold. Absolutely imperative that that Hunter has a big day, that Griffin potentially does. If you get pressure, you are going to be in control of this game for a lot of it, I think.
Didn't the Vikings only have like 22 or 23 sacks all of last season?
Yeah,
they're already almost to their. That's amazing.
Yep.
And that's a sneaky thing. It's weird because this defense has given up a lot of. I mean, their points allowed have been really good the last 2.5 games, but they've just been situationally questionable, right? But I think if they can keep getting that much pressure on opposing teams, then the defense should settle in, especially against the pass. So maybe we are seeing, maybe Zimmer was right that you guys are just looking at the stats. Maybe he's right. He's seeing pressures, he's seeing sacks, and all of that should lead to the defense playing better here. If they lose this game, it might just be too late. But if they win this game and the defense is coming around just in time for Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, then maybe they do set themselves up after the bye quite nicely.
Again, past 2 games. I mean, this stat's incredible. 8 sacks and 19 pressures and 5 picks in 2 games. Capitalize on that. Bashad Breeland, I challenge you. Interception. I challenge you. Get a pick. And then you can talk smack on Twitter.
What's Cam Dantzler's status right now?
He's back.
He's good to
He's
go.
back.
Yeah,
So I don't know if our guy Bashad's going to be playing quite as much.
Surprised he's still, yeah. All right. Key number 2 off of Sack and Sam. Not so fast. And that means I'm not done with the defense yet. Yes, pressure is incredibly important, but don't go so fast to get off the Vikings defense, because here's the other thing. And this is defensively, I think, probably the key to the tilt from the Vikings end on defense, because I think the pressure will come. The Panthers pass protection, obviously not good. The Vikings have some guys who are very good as far as getting pressure, but let's talk about the run defense again. Every game so far, 5 games, right? Every game so far, your opponent has exceeded 100 yards. Christian McCaffrey is out. He didn't practice on Thursday, and Dex told me this morning that the Panthers are saying he's not going to play. Chuba Hubbard has done a nice job, but look, the Vikings are surrendering 130 yards on the ground per game. The Panthers can certainly run, but this is where you got to come up big. Like, again, you've got to come up. And the one thing that I don't want from the run defense that we saw a week ago against Detroit was the Lions got off to a very good start. And the Vikings now say, well, we're not adjusting quick enough. Teams are catching us by surprise. And eventually we do adjust, but we're not. Okay, dudes, you're professional players. Zim's forte, defense, adjust quicker. If you can shut down their run and force Carolina to feel like they have to pass and then get your pressure, that is a recipe for victory on the road.
Mm-hmm. This, by the way, in terms of like defense and, just keeping the opponent in check, this is one of the lower over-under totals you're going to find this week. It's like a 44.5, I want to say. So Vegas expects this to be kind of a first team to 20 kind of a thing. Could be in good shape. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of want this to go. Hey, I want Kirk to be slinging it around the field.
Okay,
I want this
so
to
you
be
don't care about the defense. You're out on Zim.
You're being you've spent the whole week ripping Mike Zimmer. I'm done with defense. I don't care.
Okay, so you
put
just don't
7
care.
guys out there
AFL.
for all I care. I just want the Vikings to score 35 points, which is what they should be doing on a regular basis.
All right.
The weapons that they have.
All right. Key number 1. This is good key. This is a funny one. I like this one. The first key to this game, no surprise. The headline, will Clint get his pudding? Which of course is a dessert, and you can't get your dessert unless you eat your Brussels sprouts, and Brussels sprouts means making Daddy Mike Zimmer happy with your offensive game plan. So the only way that Clint will get his dessert is if his offense performs according to the plan that the Vikings want. You did the self-scout, right? The Panthers defense is excellent. They're tops against the pass. They're top. I think they're in the top 3 overall total defense. I think they're 8th against the run. They're good in scoring D. So like this defense is legit. Yeah. This is a perfect test though, in actuality, for both Clint and Mike. With the self-scout, with all of the work that's been done, have we come up with a plan that's going to allow you to potentially open things up in the passing game? And that's not going to be simple, but this is a great test because you're now going from Detroit, which stunk. I'm sorry. You can tell me all you want about their adjustments. You're going from a Detroit defense that you didn't expose at all, and they stunk, especially in the second half. Now we're pivoting to a very good defense, but everyone's had their day of self-scout. So that's the question. Will Clint on the plane ride home get his pudding, his dessert for a job well done?
Yeah. Those are Judd's 4 keys to a Vikings victory. I just want to say on the self-scout thing, I don't know what they're going to come out with, if they're going to script plays in the second half. There's a lot of things that are sort of unknown off of this self-scout. But one thing I can for sure tell you is that the Vikings offense is going to face pressure. I don't know if it's going to be like Myles Garrett pressure that they faced against the Browns, but you're not going to have clean pockets for 3 hours in this game. So we come to the same crossroads that we come to, on a regular basis here with this Vikings offense and Kirk Cousins, which is we know that when things are clean, it's smooth sailing. Kirk's going to pick the defense apart. But when things get muddy, if on every other play there's a little bit of pressure coming at you, a lot of the other playoff caliber teams in the NFL have quarterbacks that can scoot out of the way. Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Kirk can't scoot out of the way, but what can he do to combat pressure? It's not good enough for me for the answer to just be, well, if there's pressure, you're screwed, right? How can you respond to defensive pressure? It's a reality in the NFL, and I think so many times we just chalk it up to, what are we supposed to do?
Right.
Figure it out.
Well,
it's life in the NFL.
And we saw it last year quite a bit. They schemed it. Like they schemed it at times.
The Panthers blitz more often than any other team in the NFL as well, which is worth noting. Like you're going to have to scheme probably to move the pocket But
I mean, Kirk needs to be schemed. Kirk, like you can't go into a game with Kirk saying, Kirk, figure it out. Like you figure it out. He can't do it. It's not in. He has the physical attributes, and he's not a dumb quarterback, but he's also not the type of guy who can just go, I will freelance these plays. It's going to be fine. That's not him. So, but that's where Gary did a great job of saying, okay, you're not perfect, but we're going to have to scheme you.
Yeah.
And it's why guys like McVay love Kirk, because you could totally trick him up. He's like a car that you go out and buy cool parts for, the big tires, right? Like he's tricked up. He's not, Lamar Jackson goes out and says, I'll make it work. Pat Mahomes.
I think guys like McVay like quarterbacks that can play well under pressure, but maybe there's some scheme involved there. But like I bring that up because I'm going to give you the rankings. This is just traditional passer rating, so it's not always the best gauge, but passer rating when under pressure this season. Kyler Murray, number 1.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford, number 2. So that's either McVay tricking up some schemes or it's that Stafford's just much better against pressure.
Combination.
Maybe he is. Yeah. Russell Wilson, 3rd. Josh Allen, 4th. Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater is right there too. Now I'm gonna pause the list and I'm gonna go down to 17th and move my way down. Okay. In these rankings, this is passer rating. Okay. 17th, Jameis Winston. 18th, Jacoby Brissett. 19th, Ryan Tannehill. 20th, Taylor Heineke. 21st, Davis Mills. 22nd, Dak Prescott. It's pretty low for Dak. 23rd, Mac Jones. 24th, Derek Carr. 25th, Kirk Cousins against pressure this year.
Wow.
So the answer can't just be, well, there's pressure. Everything's screwed.
Right.
Right. There's got to be some counter punch here, and you're going to face pressure on Sunday.
Where did Kirk rank, if it's possible to find this, last year in that same statistic?
Give me 1 second,
because I'd be curious to know, going from Gary to Clint, if that has changed at all. Really substantial. It might not have too.
Kirk last year. It's not very good. 24th.
Okay, so it's about the same.
Okay.
He was below Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, Mitch Trubisky.
Oh.
But he's mobile. Like Mitch can get
Trubisky
out.
Could run and
Mitch can move.
In fact, Mitch, in terms of grade, Mitch graded poorly against pressure passing, but was one of the top runners. Like, oh God, pressure, run for 12 yards. Right?
Ponder.
Very Ponder-like. Yep. So yeah, be better against pressure. That's Macadac's key.
Well,
don't melt when the heat gets cranked up.
Yes. I fear they're going to take a shot or something at some point, and it's going to get picked off, and Mike's going to completely freak out and go back to, we got to be Clint. You got to be more careful than that. Yeah. But Mike, you had me self-scout and wanted me to do more. You got to be more careful. Now I'm switching my channel to the defensive channel. Hello, this is the defensive channel where everything's great. Let's talk about cornerbacks.
Don't forget Vikings Vent Line right after the game is over. We'll either be your therapists or we'll be the party organizers. It's the most fan-friendly, interactive, and I think probably fastest-growing show in Minnesota sports. And you can find it live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, again, right after the final whistle of Panthers and Vikings on Sunday. That's a wrap for Mackie and Judd on this Friday, Judd's Keys, Feedback Friday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you later.